Hello, this is a series. This is the first video in a series on how to hold the first meeting of our meeting process. We call this our retirement vision meeting. And the purpose of this meeting is to get to know who they are. So I want to share my screen real quickly. There's a couple of things I want you thinking about during these next few videos as that you're watching as we describe how we hold that first meeting. So let's go ahead and share my screen here, and here we go. All right. Now, when you're meeting someone for the first time, remember what's going on here. First of all, remember this is new to them. This is, you might do this every day, but for them, they don't, right? Think about it. You may be talking to someone who's maybe they've worked in a company their entire lives. They've never really had a financial advisor to speak of. All they've really had is their 401k, and they've just been kind of working their way along. And now they're facing retirement, and suddenly it's like, holy cow, I know how to save money. I know how to invest my money, but I don't know how am I going to generate income? What am I going to do about taxes? So they need, for the first time in their lives, they're looking for financial help. And um, there is naturally going to be some level of anxiety. They don't know what to expect. It's like new to them. It's like anything else. And, I always compare this, like compare it to, remember if you've ever been in a car accident, remember the first car accident you got into. Maybe you were a teenager, and it is the most emotional nightmare you can imagine, right? It's just, what do I do? This is all new to me. I'm freaking out. Now, by about the fourth or fifth accident you get into, and hopefully you've never had that happen, but by the time you get there, you're like, okay, no big deal. Like, next, like, I know what to do. Not a big deal. Nobody's hurt. Great. Let's move on. So, for us, we've done this a million times. So, well, not a million, but you get my idea. It's normal stuff to us, but to them, it's a first time, maybe, or maybe a second or third time. It's still kind of new. There's a little bit of anxiety. You just got to remember that, right? Throughout the entire process. The next thing I want you to remember is I call it the yin and the yang. So, the yin, in a sense, what are you really doing in this first meeting is you are applying for a job. That's what you're doing. And the job is to be their advisor. You are applying for a job. So you're trying to be as helpful as possible. You're trying to impress them with how great you are. But at the same time, you're the most important person in the room. And here, well, let me talk about what I mean by that first, and then I'm going to talk about more about this yin and yang. So remember this. You are the one with the knowledge. You are the one that's able to help. I don't care if they have $50,000 or $50 million. It doesn't matter. What matters is they need help. And you are the expert, my friend. So remember, if you're the expert, you're the most important person in the room. That it's simple as that. Just so have I don't want you to be have a sense of arrogance about that. It's just more a sense of confidence. Just enjoy the confidence that you are the most important person in the room because they're coming to you for help. Now, a little bit more about this yin and yang, and this is point three, which is Ford. Ford stands for family, occupation, retirement, and their dreams. So, what I think about there is this. You are applying for a job, and of course, naturally, if you go to apply for a job, you're trying to impress the interviewer with how brilliant you are. But here's the problem. How do we impress our prospect in that first meeting with how brilliant we are? How do we do that? Is it by sharing, look, these are all my credentials. This is how much I know. Look at all these wonderful solutions I have. Is that how we do it? No, not at all. Instead, you show competence and expertise by taking the time to listen to what's important to them and to listen to their story. That, my friends, is how you show them how good you are at what you do. I promise you this. I promise you this. This first meeting is all about learning about them. That's all it's about. You are going to learn about them. And at no point, and I'm going to repeat this multiple times, at no point do you ever give them a solution with one exception. And that exception is you never want to see them again, right? Maybe they're a do-it-yourselfer. They're brilliant in their minds. They're not willing to take any advice. They're not a good fit for you. Great. Give them some helpful advice. Let them go their way happily. But for the most part, you never want to give solutions. You never want to tell them how important you are. In fact, you only want to talk about 20% of the time, if that. At the end of the first meeting, you should understand all about their family, about what they did for a living, about their retirement. What do they want to do in retirement? What is retirement all about to them? What's going to make it the best time of their lives? And what are their dreams? That's what you need to capture in this first meeting that we're about to talk about in the next several videos. So we're not talking about solutions, and we're not going to really tell them anything as much as we want to learn about them. All right, gang, that's enough for this introduction video. Looking forward to visiting with you in the next several videos where we really break this down.